Hi, everyone. Kyle Kramer, the Executive Director at the Earth and Spirit Center, and I'm joined today by Jenny Schiller. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Kyle. Good to be with you today.
It's great to be with you. And before we hit record, we were e-meeting each other for the first time because although I've heard plenty of wonderful things about you for a long time, this is the first time that you are teaching at the Earth and Spirit Center, and first time we've had the chance to meet. You have an amazing background. You have a law degree, you have a doctor of ministry, you have a master's in family therapy. I think you have a French degree somewhere in there, and a variety of other things. You've had many different career paths, and quite an accomplished person. Tell me a little bit, tell our listeners and watchers a little bit about the background you're bringing to mindful parenting, which is the workshop and the course that we're going to be so blessed by with you in coming months.
Yeah, so really, when I look back for myself over my career history, which is diverse, I will say that there is a consistent thread about working with families.
Hmm.
So, as my early years as an attorney, I did family law, moved into doing some work on mediation, and moved into counseling from there because I saw that families need a lot of support, and
Mm.
parents in particular don't get much support, and that's a real need that I see.
Well, and my guess is by the time families are in the legal system, there's a lot of water under the bridge, problems that could have been prevented on other levels upstream, right?
Right, exactly right. So I kind of see myself as moving into that more preventative work to
Mm.
help families get along better, to feel better about parenting, and to understand more about how the dynamics work around parenting and children.
Mm. Okay, so I'm a parent. You're a parent and a grandparent, I believe. I've got three teenage kids. And shall we say, over the past, 18, 20 months of the pandemic, maybe I've not been the world's best parent. And I imagine I'm not the only one in this boat where all of us have kind of been not at our best, and perhaps without all the resources we might otherwise call upon. Um, how how can mindfulness help? That's the simple question. In a nutshell, how can bringing mindfulness to one's parenting, especially in hard parenting times such as these, what benefits can
Yes.
mindfulness bring?
So I think you named exactly what many parents are struggling with, which is why this workshop on the pandemic and parenting in the pandemic is so important, because never in our history has parenting been challenged in so many ways by children having to be home for their educational lives, for parents having to be home for their work lives, trying to balance all of these out. The pandemic has caused a crisis of mental health, and a lot of that has fallen to children, particularly adolescents. So
Mhm.
I think the workshop is really important in addressing our own awareness of how children and ourselves are impacted by the pandemic. So
Okay.
that's that part of it.
Mhm.
Um, the course, the 4-week course, talks about mindfulness as parents in general. What are the kind of everyday things that we need to understand about our children, their development, their life stage, versus our own life stages? So each of us brings ourselves fully present, including the own experiences we had as we were children and parented by our own parents in ways that were or were not helpful. So all
Okay.
of that is brought to bear in the series, the 4 sessions.
Okay. So especially relevant for parenting amidst the challenge of a pandemic, but it sounds like also applicable even beyond the pandemic. May we get there sometime soon, right?
Yes, absolutely. The sooner the better.
Okay, and so you mentioned both a workshop and a 4-week course. Is one the prerequisite for another? How do those fit together?
So not at all. They
Okay.
can be taken independently, or someone who takes the workshop and the series would experience them differently. The workshop is really specific around the pandemic and how we have all been impacted during the pandemic and
Hmm.
how parenting has shifted because of it, where the series is a little more general about parenting, different stages of children's growth and what they need at different times in their lives versus what our needs are and how do you balance all that out.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I wish I'd had it 2 years ago. As my kids often remind me, Papa, don't you run a mindfulness center? Whenever I'm in my my low moment of parenting, they always remind me that I'm supposed to bring mindfulness to this task. So hopefully your workshop and your course will help others along that journey. And so the workshop will be offered in January on Saturday the 22nd from 9 to noon. The 4-week course is on Wednesday evenings starting in February, on the 9th of February through early March from 7 to 8:30. Folks can register for those at earthandspiritcenter.org. And Jenny, I'm so grateful that you'll be teaching these. They are so needed by all of us parents, and we're really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you for having me.